Good evening, everyone. Friday Night Likes is March the 6th, 2020. Everybody was streaming into the room in the green room for a little while there. Costia only just joined us, so we were worried. We thought it was Philly against the world here for a second.
Oh, no.
Wally, Johnny, and Katie from that
DC
area.
representing.
Costia is a Beltwegian representing the DC area. So we'll get into
I'm
that.
a what? Hold on. Try that again.
Beltwegian.
That's brilliant.
I'm not Norwegian whatsoever. I don't know where you got that one.
You're inside the Beltway, the 495.
Oh, I thought you were doing a play on words with Belgian because I am Belgian.
Oh, no. Beltwegian is what I dubbed it when I was living down there. It's that DC bubble. So anyway, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. So let me get to that first. Who are you? Where are you? How do we reach you on social media? And what are you drinking? Wally, let's start with you.
All right, I'm Wally. I'm from King of Prussia, and I'm drinking a concoction my wife made for me. It's bourbon, honey, and elderberries. Apparently, elderberries ward off the coronavirus, so I'll take her word for it. I'm drinking. That's me.
Good stuff, Wally. So far, it's worked, so we expect you to make one for all of us. But Wally's going to keep our scores tonight and make sure everybody's in line. But with that, let's get rid of him. See you later, Wally. Johnny, how are you? Who are you? Where are you?
Doing great. I'm Johnny from Philadelphia. Not originally, as you can probably hear from the accent a little bit, and that'll creep in there. I'm from North Carolina originally, and I'm drinking North Carolina beer. I'm drinking Wicked Weed. I'm drinking Uncle Rick's Pilsner. You can find me at Johnny Attero, Attero, on Twitter, and I'm also on Fortune's Always Hiding podcast right here on the American Hammers Network.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Wicked Weed, a favorite of mine as well. Katie, I'm so sorry. I should have come to you first. Ladies first.
Oh, no.
Make up for it. Let us know who you are, where you are. How do we follow you? I know you're on Twitter. You're big on Twitter.
Yes. Yep. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Miss West Ham Philly. Philly represent. I thought I'd be the only one tonight, but Johnny hopped in. Don't worry. He's more of a lady than me, so I'm glad you let him go first.
Ladies man, maybe. My wife's
beautiful stuff. Everybody go check out Katie's page. We're super proud of all the work she's putting in. Massive flag coming down to the Philly Hammers bar there at Stowe's Bar.
Tomorrow's our debut.
Glorious, Katie. In fact, here's a thumbs up just for that flag. So, a little bit of an advantage there. Costia, what's up, my man?
Hey, this is Costia. I'm a DC Iron, proud DC Iron. And I'm actually from Massachusetts originally, but I've lived in DC for 9 years. Been a DC Iron for about 6 years. They're like family. And if you follow us on Twitter or you follow American Hammers on Twitter, you may have noticed we've just changed pubs, which is a huge deal for any supporters group to have a change in pub, especially mid-season. We'll be at Across the Pond tomorrow. It's in DuPont Circle. It's a couple of blocks from the DuPont station. I won't mention the pub that we switched over from because I don't want to give them any more bad of a rep than they already may have developed. But we're excited to be at Across the Pond. It's our new official pub, and it's owned and operated by Brits. So it's authentic. I already had their English breakfast, and it's freaking delicious.
Good stuff. I'll have to check that out next time I'm down. These guys were very gracious hosts when I came down at the last place.
We loved having you.
Across the Pond, never heard that, but in DuPont, so will they get rid of one wine bar out there and put a real pub in?
Oh, they still have plenty of wine bars. I think Across the Pond's been open for about 5 to 10 years. I don't want to put a exact number on it because I'm not totally sure, but we came across it when we were searching, and one of our boys, Sammy, has known the owner for like a dozen years, and so the relationship was really easy to quickly get on board there, and we're excited about it.
Good stuff. It's always good to get a good breakfast over here. Pretty hard to find. So whenever I can find good English or Irish sausages, I'm on top of it. Anyway, with that, let's get into it. These guys know what they're doing. For you at home, what they're doing are answering questions about West Ham. And if they make good answers that make sense, stats, facts, figures, and good opinions, they'll get a thumbs up. Person with the most thumbs up wins the game. It's all fairly simple stuff. Towards the end of the show, we will come to the audience and see who they think is winning. And the audience will supply a winner as well. And that person will get 2 extra thumbs, which Wally will record in the back room. So with that, let's get underway. And there's been a lot of talk about our owners for obvious reasons, in and out of the press, in and out of people's Twitter conversations. So what do you guys think? What is the worst thing that GSB have gotten wrong? Now, I know there's a laundry list of items that we could all select from. So what is the worst thing, the very worst of the worst? And Costia's nodding his head, so let me start there. Costia.
Sure. So there are a lot of problems with the stadium migration. But the thing that really upsets me the most, and I might sound like a politician here, but all the jobs that it's cost. So we had incredible stewards at Upton Park. If you ask anybody who had a season ticket or even somebody that was there once or twice, our stewards at Upton Park knew each section of the ground. They knew the fans. They were like family. And I don't think there are any at the London Stadium anymore. Initially in 2016, when they came over, there were maybe half of them came, and then half of that half decided to quit within the year. And now if we have any still, they're paid less, and there's probably I don't know the exact number, but I know it's quite small. But more than just that, I know everyone's seen Iron Men, the documentary that was doing the rounds. It's on Amazon. It's a really well done documentary, and it'll make you emotional by the end of it. But there's a particular clip that I will post at some point that I need to watch the whole thing again. But David Gold is talking to an owner of a pie stand, and he promises that he's going to bring them with us. And as you know, Nathan's has closed. The Bull Inn Tavern has just closed, or at least they can't afford the rent anymore. And I'm thinking of when I went to Upton Park and I was on Green Street, the number of burger and sausage stands and all those businesses that line Green Street that no longer exist or have had to find another way to sell their goods. That pisses me off the most. The working class, the folks that used to be a big part of the stadium experience, the walk to Upton Park. They're not there anymore. I don't, God bless them. I don't know what they're doing now, but they certainly aren't making money from West Ham fans anymore. And so I think of those people before I think of any of the issues. And I think of David Gold telling that guy, oh, don't worry, we're going to bring you with us. But there was absolutely no plan to bring those folks with us. And when I went to the Olympic Stadium, I saw maybe one or two burger shops along the way, not nearly the same amount. And that just pisses me off, frankly.
Yeah, they seem to trade in some of the local stands and merchants for really whatever's going on the hell there in Westfields, or at least for the beginning and pre-game. But after the game, the shopping centre wants nothing to do with the fans. So, point well taken. I think it's an interesting perspective. Katie, where do you stand? What's the worst thing the owners have done?
I mean, yeah, obviously Upton Park, that's the biggest thing, up and moving and making all the promises. That's pretty much what everyone's going to say. I would say in general this year, from my perspective, just the lack of, management in regards to our coaching staff and the players, just how, Pellegrini should have been out way sooner. Then we re-signed Moyes. Everyone is happy with him now. But if he does keep us up from relegation, we are going to have to continue with him. So I don't know. I just think it's a mess.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any real plan in there, does there?
And the other thing, they've been pretty idiotic with the whole GSB out situation. They're drawing more attention to that than it needs to be within their own circle and the media. So to me, they're digging their own hole. I do have to say, having Karen fire Pellegrini to me was one of the most hilarious things. I just thought that was funny that, the other two couldn't stand up and do it. They just made Karen do it.
Johnny, where do you stand?
I'm going to be a little controversial here. Everyone wants to say it's a stadium migration. Everybody wants to say it's a lot of the decisions they make. I think the number one problem that we have is our recruitment strategy. I think that if we had a group of players that were fantastic Premier League class footballers who played as a unit, as a team, if we got young, hungry players, if we English talent, if we bought championship players that were really, really solid, like Bowen, like we did with Cresswell, we brought them up. If we had some sort of identity, we would be 60,000 people in that big soulless bowl screaming our heads off, watching us win match after match. And I feel like that would be completely different as an experience. We would have a completely different identity as fans, and we would see them in a different light if we actually had the right players playing the right style of football and we were winning on the pitch. So I think recruitment strategy is the number one thing that they've got wrong continually. I mean, look at like these Sully specials. I mean, like Mito, Ilunga, giving him that contract and then he disappeared. I know, I saw the Mito jersey, dude. I was just like, amazing. Barrera. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. In fact, a lot of people bring up, oh God, the Italian guy, Zaha, what was his name?
Zaza.
Yeah. Which actually, though, I have to admit, I kind of liked him. I thought we didn't give him a good shot, but I really do think that we signing old players on huge contracts for free on massive wages, just everything we do is wrong and is backwards compared to what successful Premier League clubs do on a regular basis.
It's kind of, I mean, it exemplifies everything, doesn't it? Similar point to what Kate was making, that we're such a reactionary club that it doesn't seem like there's any vision where we put our front foot forward. The planning is shocking. Anyway, that's the negative. We like to go to the positive on Friday Night Likes. So name something that GSB have gotten very right. What is their best accomplishment at West Ham? Kate, let's start with you.
Honestly, I can't think of one. I think they're doing fucking up pretty right.
Listen, I'll give you a thumbs up for the charm there. That's fair enough. Who's got one for me? Johnny.
I've got two. Go, John.
So I think the best thing that they did is, I think this guy froze a little bit.
Go ahead,
my
Costia.
back. Okay,
Johnny, give it a second. We'll give Costia a chance.
Okay, so it's twofold. The best thing that they've done business-wise is that they have made £18 million off interest from loans to the club exclusively. So they've done very well enriching themselves off the back of East Londoners. And the other thing they did okay is they miraculously somehow pulled Dimitri Payet out of a hat. And I think that's just because he was disgruntled at Marseille. And, the man gets disgruntled pretty easily. But that was probably luck more than anything. But, robbing East Londoners, that £700 mascot, and the 18 million in loans that they've accumulated interest from, 6% interest on loans to the club, and miraculously getting Dimitri Payet.
They stick to what they're good at. Johnny, how's your service now? Are you back in?
Yeah, I'm back on. Man, like that was Bilic. Bilic was the one that was looking at Payet the whole time, to be fair. But regardless, what they have done and what they did do well one time is they got the right manager in the right place at the right time, and that was Sam Allardyce. I know people don't like him. I know he's not popular, but they got him in. He was the right person at the right time. And say what you want about his style of football, he got us to the championship. He got us out. That is an incredibly tough competition. So many people have this arrogant view of the championship and act like it is, we'd breeze through it again. And no, he got out. I mean, and one of my favorite memories is winning that match with Vaz Tay, put it in the back of the net. We'll never forget that, jumping up in a pub in San Francisco with two complete stranger West Ham fan Englishmen and just like screaming our heads off. So I think Allardyce, in fact, I still think when they let him go, it was the wrong decision. I think that we were playing some of the best football we'd ever played under him. We'd finally discovered a style that was working for us. So that was the best thing they've ever done.
I got a reluctant thumbs up for that last point because I think you're right. He may not be the best manager in West Ham's history. He's probably the best manager that can deal with these owners because he's the kind of manager that can bring in players on the kind of budgets they're going to work with. And he's also the one that's going to get the players to perform to the max possible for the kind of money that they're willing to spend. So in all seriousness, he probably should have stuck around a little bit more. And the way they treated him by just letting his contract expire was a bit of a shambles as well.
And that's when our form torpedoed. I mean, when as soon as they told him they weren't going to renew his contract, everyone just gave up. He just gave up completely. And when he started doing this, that's when it was over.
Hoofball is not the West Ham way. I'm sorry, Johnny.
It's not. It's awful, and I hate even thinking that. But
Were we
God.
playing that when he had Sacco up front with Valencia and we were scoring goals and we had a great defense and we were 5th in the league? No, we weren't playing hoofball.
I don't think he liked that style of play, actually. I think that he was out of his comfort zone.
Well, when he got him back in,
Right, and Sacco and Valencia lost their places when Carroll came back from injury, and we dropped from 5th.
I'm not giving any thumbs here. You guys got to wait your turn. We'll get on to the next question. So, you're already talking about players from the past, and as I told you earlier, Johnny, I think you've worn that shirt more than Andy Carroll has. So, we are having a terrible season. We're looking at relegation. Which one player would you bring back from the past to save us from relegation? Who is it, and why would you pick them? Johnny, we'll start with you.
So I'm actually going to go with Rio Ferdinand. I think in our back line.
Well, we got his answer.
What?
You're pausing again.
Damn it. Am I here now?
For now.
You got
Give it another
Comcast, Johnny? I blame Comcast.
Yeah, of course I do. I'm in Philadelphia. Of course I have Comcast. So Rio Ferdinand. I say if you bring Rio back in his prime, put him in our back line next to Ogbonna, I think it would give so much confidence to the rest of the team. And my close second was going to be Michael Carrick, because I feel like Michael Carrick in his prime in our midfield would be amazing. But I still think that Rio, the poise, the leadership, the athletic ability for modern football, I think he would be, absolutely amazing, transcendent for
us. Katie.
Okay, so I'm going a little bit further back here, kind of along the same lines as Johnny. I think we need a little bit better leadership, especially with our younger players right now, to give them the tenacity they need. So I'm going to go with Billy Bonds. I think that he's a leader. He's always been right there up in the front. So that's my choice to bring back for right now.
Great choice, Katie. Great choice. You know he's going to battle for every ball and drive everybody on.
Exactly.
There's only one acceptable answer to this question, and I'm going even further back, and it has to be Sir Bobby Moore, okay? The greatest center back in the history of football, the leader that West Ham is missing. Mark Noble's okay, but he's no Bobby Moore, okay? The guy has a Sir in front of his name for a reason. He would settle the back line. He would communicate with the midfield. He'd be a second coach to Moyes. He would tell Moyes off when Moyes was being hesitant. It's only Bobby Moore. That's it.
I don't know how you can argue with that, to be honest. That's you bring back a legend like that, and I don't know. Let me bring back another legend. Wally, we're about halfway through. Surprised you again. Always do every week.
I'm here, but I'm keeping track.
Wally, who would you bring back to help us out in a relegation fight?
Who would I bring back? There's only one person to bring back, and that would be.
I almost picked him.
Yeah, he would set us right, boy. Yes, Dimitri Payet. That's my choice.
Good stuff, Wally. What are the scores?
Anyway, we have Katie with 5, Costia with 5, and Johnny in the lead with 6.
Ooh, nice and
Yeah.
tight. Right.
Very
I'm going to boot you again. We got 2 more questions for the night. See you later. Let's see. What's my next one? Right. So, staying on the semi-happy train. Pretty bad season we're having. We all know. Talking about relegation. Who's your hammer of the year so far, and why? I mean, it's been pretty shocking all around, but there's got to be a shining light coming through the clouds, a silver lining. Who's that silver lining, and why? Costia, I'll start with you.
Antonio. He works his socks off to the point that he's knackered by the 70th minute. To the point that he gets himself injured. When he's out injured, we don't play the same. You can put him at right wing. You can put him in the midfield. You can put him at striker. You can put him at right fullback if you have to. There's nobody who has such creative dances every time he scores, and we are a better team without him. It's Mickey all the way.
That's excellent passion. Katie, you seem to say no.
I hate Antonio. Everyone knows it.
Why do you hate Antonio, and who are you picking instead?
Because as a professional athlete, you need to know how to collect the ball and compose yourself at the top of the pitch. He does not do that consistently. He's just like running around all wild. I mean, yeah, he plays tough. I'll give him that. He goes after those 50-50 balls. I'll give him that. But, you know, he's got to learn to collect the ball, calm down, take your time, and, you know, finish. He doesn't finish. We've had plenty of opportunities. All right, so anyway, I'm moving on to Antonio.
Hey, I'm with you on that last bit. He does not fit. I'll tell you what, if we didn't win that Southampton game 3-1, how mad would we all be that he missed that one-on-one from that Rabona with Allaire?
You all know I'm right.
We'd be
Player
furious.
of the year is not about fancy and being able to keep the ball. It's about effort and having an impact on the game. And he has an impact every single game.
That's
when
right.
he's on the pitch.
It doesn't matter that he can't trap a bag of sand. That's right.
And
he can trap. It's not about trapping. He hits the ball over the bar. I understand that. Okay, but that's not.
I just muted Costia. Katie, who are you going with?
all right, so honestly, this is kind of probably a shocker, but I'm going with Ogbonna. I personally think that he's done a really great job this year, and he's even given us 2 goals. I mean,
Yes.
Antonio, he can't even do that. So,
Well, that may be VAR's fault, but who knows?
no, he hits the ball and it hits his hand every single time.
Johnny, you've been pretty quiet here. You've either got an absolute blinder coming up your sleeve, or what do we have?
Honestly, I think the answer is very clear, and I actually think Katie got it. It's Ogbonna. I think Ogbonna has been far and away our best player. He's been the most consistent. In fact, he's been the only consistent part. Terrible back line, and it's one of those weird situations where you see a team doing very poorly, and there's one player standing out that never really is at fault. And I say this knowing that last season I targeted Ogbonna for so much criticism, and the way he has grown and the way he has really taken a lot of the responsibility for that back line, the way he comes out, he pushes out from everyone else and starts pressuring the ball before they even get to the rest of the back line. Then he has the pace to recover. His positional ability has gotten so much better this year. I don't know what's going on with him. It's like police squad, you know.
And he's become a better
impressed. So impressed with him. And like I said, I say this as a person who really criticized him in the past because he used to have these constant mental just lapses, and he's cut that out.
I feel like a lot of it is trust. You know, they're not chopping and changing, at least in the second half of the season now. They're not chopping and changing a lot with the general coming in and out and just saying, you know, you're our guy starting. I think it's given a bit of confidence. But excellent picks. I've got to say, both of you. Cosio, you're completely right. We're definitely a different team without Antonio. And that is kind of a sad indictment of the state of affairs that we're in right now, that we're leaning on a player, as Katie says, that can't trap a ball. So it's a difficult decision. I don't know who I would give out of both of those. I think Antonio definitely has an impact. Most consistent is probably Ogbonna.
He would have been a better goalie than Roberto, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, well, he gets his hand on everything, so he would do much, much better. But I think they're both good choices. So anyway, with that, people in the audience, you can start casting your votes now for who you think has won. Wally's going to record the votes, and the winner gets 2 extra likes. I'm going to ask the final question of the evening, but you can feel free to start submitting your votes now, or you can wait until, you know, the last question occurs and see what the answers are. So the last question is, if the following players were cars, what kind of car would they be and why? So I'll just do rapid fire, and we'll go Johnny down to Katie and across to Costia for the first one. And the first player is Mark Noble. What type of car would he be and why?
I think Mark Noble is a Ford F-150 truck. And I think the reason is because it's not sexy. It's not what everyone wants and everyone says, but it's a hardworking car. You can do so much with it. It's what working people, you know, like they look at and they understand that. It also sometimes runs out. You know, it needs a little more gas than it used to, but it's still an incredibly hardworking, dependable vehicle.
Katie.
I'm gonna say for Noble, a classic MG sports car, not particularly fast, but liked by most enthusiasts. So it's a collector's item, just like
Noble's a collector's item. That's classic, Katie. Well done, Costia.
Mark Noble is a 1999 Honda Accord. Okay, he's been reliable for a long time. He's been in the garage for a while. We feel like he's part of the family, but it's time for him to make his way to the used car lot, and he's not particularly fast.
And next player, Katie, we'll start with you. Jack Wilshere.
Oh, I like him. I'm gonna say he's a Jaguar. But you know, Jaguars, they always break down, and he's had 2 owners, so say no more.
He's had 2 owners. Katie, you're doing well on this one. I'll give you an extra one for that. Costia.
Thank you.
Jack Wilshere is a BMW 640i Grand Coupe. It's the most expensive BMW to maintain. It's $16,000 a year to maintain. Replacing the brakes exclusively is $1,500. And for some reason, we decided to buy it on 220,000 miles. And the electrical system is all screwed up. And there's just no point in even driving it anymore.
Johnny.
I was going to say, yeah, he's a 2005 Jaguar because it not only does he break down all the time, but at the time, everyone was like, this is the next big car. This is the car everyone is going to love. This is the car that's going to put England back on the map, baby. And then what happened? It kept breaking down and it kept breaking down. And they said, no, this one's not going to break down anymore. Then it kept breaking down. Then it kept breaking down. And now it's sitting in your garage, looking beautiful, doing nothing.
I hear baby.
Yeah, she's in the background.
She
Give me 5 minutes.
Baby.
Sebastian Aller. Costia.
Sebastian Aller is a Bugatti Chiron. It's got the second most horsepower available, 1,479. You can't really have it on its own in the garage, though. You need a second car because, you know, your garage only fits 2. It doesn't really know why it's in your garage in the same collection as cars with the Accord and the Nissan Altima that is Aaron Questwell.
Excellent points. Johnny.
No, actually, he is a Tesla coupe because if you don't have the setup to support it, it will not work.
Katie.
So I'm going to say a French car, the Citroen Family Saloon. That's because it's smart. It's a bit slow, but still gets there in the end.
That's done. Let's wrap this up. One last one. So if
There's
everybody...
2. Fornals and Snodgrass, I thought.
Well, you just ruined the show for everybody, Costia.
Shit, I was prepared. I have a really good one for both. So it's like, you can't skip one.
God, I'm not even going to come to you for these. All right. Pablo Fornals. Johnny.
So I think it's a Porsche 911. All your mates say it's impractical. It'll never work here in England. It's going to skid off the wet roads. And then you get it and you're not used to it. You're driving it too fast. You're going, God, they were right. But then you get used to it, used to the handling. And next thing you know, it is just as amazing. And only a crazy Scot would put it back in the garage.
I don't know if you answered the right one for that. I'm not sure. Was that Fornals?
Yeah.
Oh. I'll give you a thumb anyway. Costia, Fornals.
Pablo Fornals is an Acura RLX. At first, you're a little disappointed. It's not a fancy coupe like a Porsche, which I think is more Lanzini, or a BMW or a Benz. But eventually you start to like it and you realize that it's just as fancy and perhaps it's actually a little bit more reliable.
I'm really impressed by everybody being so prepared. Katie.
Jeez, they're tough. I'm going to go with an Ibiza MK5 because it's a busy little runaround, economical, and will go on for years if treated regularly. Upkeep.
Nice. And the last one of the evening, Robert Snodgrass. Katie.
So I'm going to go with a Reliant Robin, a trusty 3-wheeler. Gets everywhere eventually, making a lot of noise and misfires regularly.
Costia.
Robert Snodgrass is a Toyota Tacoma. The big fancy clubs don't want it, but it's very reliable. It gets the job done, and it always seems to pick up the squad when it comes on. Plus, you can loan it to your son, and when it comes back, it's just as good as before, even if your prick son said it was dumb to buy it in the first place.
Johnny.
I say it's a 1999 Honda Civic because it's reliable, it's not flashy, and you could literally shoot the engine block and it would still run.
I make you about right on that one. Snodgrass seems to have an engine that never stops. Let's bring Wally back in to get our final scores. Wally.
All right. Well, this is really close, very close game. We have Kostya with 13, Johnny with 13, and let me tell you, Katie, I watch the games.
The fan vote.
Yes, she has the fan vote, and it's very well deserved because I watch the games with Katie at Stowe's, and she knows her football. Let me tell you, I learned so much listening to her tell the TV what the guys should be doing rather than what they actually are doing. Anyway, she wins it with 14 plus 2, 16 altogether.
Wow. Fan vote puts Katie over the top. Congratulations, Katie. Johnny, thank you. Kostya, thank you. Wally, thank you. I'm going to boot you back. Katie, it's your time to shine. What message do you have?
Oh, man, I didn't even prepare a message today because I didn't even think I would win.
It's all good. We got Arsenal tomorrow. We can talk about that for a second.
All right, let's talk about it.
How are you feeling? What's your message for the West Ham faithful? What are we going to do tomorrow?
You know, I think we're going to come out on top. I think it's going to be 3-2. So, yeah, I think we're feeling pretty good. I think that if we go with the same formation we've had the past game, I think we'll do really well. Honestly, I think once we start to gel, I was talking to everyone about this last week at Stowe's. I was really disappointed Moyes didn't put that formation together previously because I really think that they need the time to click and feed one another. You know, last week was the first time we've actually seen them overlapping, not playing in the back. They were aggressive. So I'm really excited to see what we bring tomorrow. Yeah, that's about it. And of course, everyone knows about Premier League mornings. We all want you to come to Philly. We will host you. We'll get there early. So let us know if you're coming by.
Good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try and get down there. I know Wally's going to try and be there. Johnny will be there. DC Irons are coming up with Kostya and the boys. So please come on out to Philadelphia if you can make it up. But thanks everybody for joining us. Great show, great guests, great people in the chat room, and we'll hope for a good result tomorrow. So come on, you Irons.
And thank you so much out there.
Irons.
Irons.